I knew you were going to do that, Mitch.
Looks like a chop.
Okay, we have senior wide receiver Travis Reynolds, who will review the Boise State game, preview New Mexico, and then we'll take questions. Travis, go ahead.
Bottom line is offense. We didn't come out and execute the right way like we should have. Coach all week stresses that, we have to come out and execute because we have a couple, key players that, we lost due to injury. And, but I go out there and tell my guys we can cry and moan all we want, but, great teams find a way to win. And this game is not just about one person, it's about a team. So if we want to continue to reach our goals, we have to go out there and play as a team and execute as a team. And I felt like the Boise State game, we didn't do that. However, going into this week, we know, we lost a game in the conference, and Boise lost a game in the conference. If we want to continue to have a shot at this, we will have to, win out, and that's our objective from now on, is to win out. And we going in this New Mexico game with high intensity, and we're preparing to execute the right way, like we have been the last two games. But I feel like we're going to be all right, and it's some things we got to go back to, film and clean up. A whole lot of things we got to clean up, and we'll be good.
When did you know the DJ was out?
I didn't know the DJ was out until the day of the game. We had meetings before. We had meetings and a little walkthrough, and Coach Bo Knight shared that with us, and he was like, DJ's his foot got worse, so he's going to be out, and that was obviously a devastating blow to our offense because he was a big part of our offense. So I knew like the day of game day.
Your group at wide receivers is now the last group standing with all the guys you kind of started the year with. I mean, you guys kind of you played so well as a group. I think a lot better maybe than some of us expected. But you guys, I think, always knew you were going to play like that. But now you're kind of the mainstays of the offense.
Well, like I tell you, each and every week, me and Van Loren really put this group on our back, and our toughness and playmaking ability has carried upon each and every person in that room. So everybody in there is embracing that and becoming playmakers, and we, Coach Bo Knight, pride ourselves in being tough and being one of the last groups and being the group to, carry the Utah State team. So we just take pride in that.
Talk about your role as kind of taking on the leadership role in your final season here.
Oh, that always go back to when I was talking to you earlier about my grandfather saying, you want to leave everything out there on the field. And, I kind of, think about that each and every day. And as I'm leading this young group of receivers, me and Van Loren, I always tell them guys, like, it's gonna be rough days, but it's what you do. It's how you overcome those rough times, and that's what makes you a better player. And being coachable and taking technique that we are being taught is what matters. And just being that leader that this team needs, as far as, because coaches ask of it, but it's one thing to ask for it, but to go out there and do it. So I just try to lead my group of guys and keep them motivated.
Now that you've gotten to see both Craig and Darryl in game action, what are some of the differences between the two? Do they each have distinct strengths? Yeah,
both of them are similar to me. Both of them throw the ball very well. Craig, on the other hand, he's a little bit more experienced than Darryl. Like, it's some things that that he would do that Darryl wouldn't do, and it's some things that Darryl would do that he wouldn't do. But it doesn't matter who they put out there at the end of the day. We just got to execute as offense.
6 turnovers the last 2 games. Kind of like the Aggies. What do you got to do to fix that moving forward?
Well, that's basically just shooting ourselves in the foot. Like I said, execution. We're not executing right. We're not playing as a team on offense, and we need to get back to that. So this week, we're just going to go back to film, correct those mistakes, and come together as a unit.
You had any look at New Mexico other than maybe watching the game, or have you seen much of them?
I haven't seen much of them at all. Today we had meetings, but it was to go over film and correct the things that we did so we can move on and, you know, come to this New Mexico State game. But I'm going to go in there this afternoon and evaluate film, and I should know a little bit more about them later.
Just looking at their stats, they give up 65% completions, and they've had 10 touchdowns against them, only 4 interceptions. So, I mean, it looks like they have given up some yards through the air. But speaking of evaluation, I know the coaches told us last week you guys really evaluated yourselves during last week. What did that help you guys to have them go back and talk a little bit about what you guys have been doing, or was that all coaching that did it? Did they come back to you guys with some of that?
Well, I feel like it's both. You know, anytime you have a game like that, you always want to go back and look at your mistakes so you can later correct them for future references. And as offense, we are known to execute. So, I mean, we always, even when games are very good for us, we always want to go back and try to find little things we can be perfect on. So, you know, we just continue to evaluate film and just correct those.
Nevin was the defensive player of the week in the Mountain West. What did you see him on Saturday? What did you see from him on Saturday?
Nevin, week in and week out, he's always a hard worker, so that didn't surprise me. I knew he would probably, you know, be the defensive player of the week this week because he works hard every week. And, you know, I've been going against Nevin since high school, so I know his work ethic, and, you know, he knows mine, and I have no doubt. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not surprised he got defensive player of the week. But yeah, that didn't surprise me because the guy works really hard, and we all pride ourselves into that, and that's just become the leader because he's one of the leaders on this team. So, you know, we always talk about leading with the words, but we also love leading by example, and that's what he did on Saturday.
How close are you two guys?
We're very close. I actually, like, if we go home, I can basically walk down to his house and, you know, hang out with him and his family. And, you know, my family was up here just well, they're still up here. He just came over yesterday and was chatting with my family yesterday. So, you know, all us Florida boys are very close. So.
If there's one emphasis for the receivers this week and improvement from what you've seen on film, what is it in practice this week?
I would definitely say we got to clean up a little bit of alignment because, you know, it was a couple times out there when we were lined up wrong, and definitely being more physical because at the beginning of the season we were definitely known as that group to, you know, get after it a little bit, you know, get out there, corner, physical them up, you know. I feel like ever since Chucky, you know, went down, we kind of went away from that. So we're gonna go back to that, being that physical caliber group, and just gonna clean up our mistakes.
What would it mean to get a win before this bye week? You see much need the rest of you guys?
It'll mean a lot. You talking about a team motivation, team confidence going into the rest of the season because the season is far from over. And I tell my guys every day, you know, you never know what can happen. All we're facing is adversity right now, and great teams overcome adversity. So we just got to keep fighting. But definitely a win before this bye week will definitely put us in a great position.
Heading into this game, you guys finished the Boise State game on a 91-yard drive. The offense really had some rhythm. Does that help you guys gain some confidence going into this next game that you can find that rhythm as an offense moving forward?
Well, definitely. It definitely give us confidence going into, you know, next game. But as an offense, we know we can, you know, execute and find rhythm. It's just the minor mistakes and setbacks that stop us from doing that. So, I mean, as an offensive unit, we're not too, like, you know, surprised about us getting in the rhythm like that because we normally do. We just have to just clean up, you know, the minor mistakes and penalties and stuff like that.
Anything else for Travis?
Yep. Thanks, Travis.
Okay, we have senior defensive tackle AJ Patayali'i. And we'll wait for Al to put his batteries in the phone.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Although they're not going in.
He's got pretty close on your name.
Yeah, he aced it. He aced it.
He aced it. Just go ahead and start.
All eyes are on you.
It's pressure.
Performance anxiety out.
I can hear it too, actually.
Senior defensive tackle AJ Patayali'i. AJ is going to recap the Boise game, preview New Mexico, and then we'll take questions. Go ahead, AJ.
Thanks for having me.
Go ahead and preview the Boise game.
Boise State game. Our front seven played well. Played the run pretty well. Just had a few missed assignments on the back end. That's how they got them touchdowns. So just missed assignments. That caused those scores when they scored the touchdown against Boise State. And there's just things that we have to fix in the back end. The physicality, the talent, the ability that the defensive players have is there. It's just the mentals that we have to fix on game day. We just have to lock in our minds on game day so the defense can win games, because it starts with defense, and our goal is the Mountain West Chancellor defense. It starts with defense, and defense wins championships, and that's what our coaches stress about a lot. So, and that was a game for Boise State.
I'm looking ahead to New Mexico. What do you guys need to do to get back on track and kind of turn this thing around again?
New Mexico, they're ranked second nationally in the country in rushing, so it's a big game for us defensively wise to stop the run, and it starts with defensive line. If the defensive line doesn't have a great game, our chances of winning the game goes down. It starts with us. We are the core, the backbone of this team. It starts with defensive line, offensive line, and it works itself out. If we don't play a great game, then they're going to run the ball, and they're very good at that, obviously. So if we play with great technique, as we have been throughout the season, we will win the game.
Imagine you face a team that's second in the nation in rushing. They have to be really physical with how they play up front, I would imagine, too.
Yeah, their offensive line, pretty good bodies, good size up front. But it comes down to our technique on the defensive line to be stout and stop the run. And that is our defensive line, and then as a defensive whole, as a goal to stop the run every game. Week in, week out, we have to stop the run to give us a chance to win games on Saturday.
Coach Bowles was saying Saturday that this was one of the first games where you guys had a bunch of missed tackles. What kind of went into that, and what do you need to do to improve that?
We just got to make plays. Players make plays, players win games. There's no secret behind it. We just got to make plays to win games.
Was there a point in Saturday's game where you guys felt maybe just like everything was kind of going the wrong way and you had to turn around?
Beginning of the game, we played good. We had series where it was 3 and out, but their offense kept moving the ball. Just missed assignments on the back end. But I trust our DBs and our secondary to clean that up, and they'll fix it come Saturday.
What's it like to have Connor back the last couple of games?
It's good. I miss seeing him out there. He's a great leader. He's been here for 5 years. He's a guy that you'll be seeing playing on Sundays. He's a great athlete, great defensive line. He leads our core. We look up to him. When he speaks, we listen. He's experienced. He knows what's going on. He helps out the young guys, because we have a lot of young guys on our defensive line, especially the DN's position. There's a lot of young guys there. Good talent. Our D-line is very talented. We take the heart every week that we have to play good to win. So we take that upon ourselves for us to win games on Saturdays. Defensive line just has to play great for us to win games.
And what do you see from Casey Carrier, the 8th leading rusher in the nation?
He's a good runner. If he comes downhill, he's going to come downhill. He has good bodies that give him blocks.
But if D-line's there to play great technique, we're there to disrupt the run game, and we'll get them down.
I talked to you on the coaches show when we had you on about your career. It just seemed like it just all of a sudden blossomed in 2 or 3 games towards late last year for you to start to play better for this team. What happened? Did it take a while just to get used to everything? Or?
Yeah, as being a junior college player, it's different from Division I. I see it both ways. Coming in, so much technique. There's assignment. I didn't know as much as I know now. Coach Frank trusted me like when I first came in, but there still was a lack of trust because I didn't know the plays, I didn't know the technique, how they wanted me to play. So I was being a backup throughout half of the year, but mostly played all the games, had most of the reps, just didn't start. My technique started to get better, and he trusted me more. And then I just had the starting job, and I just took over from there and trying to lead.
Was there physically something you had to get through too? Did you have to change your body a little bit or get more in shape?
Yeah, I had to get ready. With Coach Dave coming in, he brought his 49er system here, and it helped me out a lot throughout summer. And that was my main focus, was to transform my body.
AJ, what's it been like? I know most of the offense have had most of the injuries, but I would imagine your leadership role has grown as you kind of start more games, get more experience. What has that been like, taking on more of a leadership role?
I'm the type that just set the example. I'm not a vocal guy. I'll leave that up to Connor. Everyone knows that. The coaching staff knows that. Not really a vocal guy. I like to show my peers how to work hard, how to believe in yourself and believe in your teammates. It just comes down to trust. Everybody's talented at this level, and anybody can play. If you're here at Division I, you can play ball. So it just comes down to leadership and showing what you can do. And not really a vocal guy. I just like to lead by example and show my brothers that I can play.
What did you see from Nevin on Saturday to warrant his Mountain West Player of the Week honor?
Nevin, you'll see him play on Sundays. Those caliber players, they do that during game week. They do it on game nights. They do it in practice. You see it on game day because he does it throughout the week. He's one of the main leaders on our defense. And when we're down, when things ain't going our way, he's there. He's a vocal leader. He'll tell us to step it up. Let's go. So he's that type of guy that you want on your team. And all the stuff that he's doing now, his future looks good.
With the injuries we've had offensively, I don't know if the right word is pressure, but doesn't it put a little bit on the defense to read? You guys have to be more fine and get things done more in your area?
Week in, week out, defense, we take the game into our hands. We want to win. Defense has to win the games. I know it sucks to have our players go down, but every week defense emphasizes that we have to play great. There's no pressure. We don't have pressure. Nothing phases our defense. So it's just mental errors we have to fix, missed assignments, and that's all. We just shot ourselves in the foot.
Obviously Boise State had a big lead in the second half, but it seemed like you guys showed improvement. Got that pick six, obviously. What did you take out of that second half that maybe got better over the course of the game?
It just shows what kind of men that we have in this program. We don't care what the score says. We're blue collar men. We know how to work hard. We're going to finish today no matter what the score says. Our coaches know that we work hard for everything we have, and just things didn't go our way that night.
Also, Coach was talking Saturday about the improving pass rush and getting home on some of those opportunities. What do you see as something you need to improve there or do better there?
Well, every team knows we're going to bring it, so they scheme our defense. We just have to work harder than they are. They have to block us because we're bringing pressure. That's our defense, and we're going to hit home. So that's our mentality. We're going to win. We're going to hit home, and we're going to play great defense to win games.
Anything else for AJ?
Thank you.
Wells, who will review the Boise State game, preview New Mexico, and then we'll take questions.
Okay. You know, there were a couple points in the Boise game where I just didn't feel like we took advantage of a couple opportunities, and they ended up ultimately, I think, not allowing us to get back into the game. First one being early in the first half, we had a couple of midfield positions and only came away with one score. And then as the second half wore down, or excuse me, the second quarter wore down, we used our timeouts, got a punt block, which was a great block by Devin Centers, and then, you know, we threw 2 fade balls in the end zone and didn't come down with either one of them. On plays I thought we could have and should have made, I have no problem even calling it again. And then a block field goal, which was a good job by them, and just not enough protection on our part. And I thought, you know, those 2 opportunities to 2 different with midfield position and even getting, you know, 3 points on the board there made it a lot more of an uphill battle in the second half. Positives coming out of it, as I told you after the game, before I saw the tape, I don't think we quit. I saw the tape 3 times now, and I know we didn't quit. So some things to take away from that, you know, a 91-yard drive at the end, even when the outcome looks inevitable, I think is a big positive on our end. So there's things to improve on, there's things to correct, just like we do after a win or a loss, and we got to move on. That's a good team. They took advantage of it. Some of them are miscues on both sides of the ball, and they made us pay. And that's what good teams do, and they're a good team, just like I said before. Looking ahead at New Mexico, you know, the biggest thing that stands out to me is Coach Davies brought a good attitude in there and rallied those kids around. You know, I think they played hard, they played with great effort, and then offensively, obviously, they run the football really well. Their O-line does a nice job. You know, Casey Carrier, I've known him since I coached there, really good back. And I'll go on more about him later if you want me to. But I got a lot of respect for Casey and what he does, and so it'll be a big challenge, one that is similar to Air Force, only in the fact that they run it a lot, and then play action, a little bit different type of option, but similar type challenges in that regards for our defense. Challenge for our whole team is to bounce back after back-to-back losses and go on the road against a Mountain West opponent, and to be able to stay in the race and the bowl hunt and all that goes within that is to do this and regroup and bounce back on the road in Albuquerque. So I'll go ahead and open it up.
The media relations staff has put together this information. It says starting quarterback is Daryl Garrett.
Did it say that? That's correct. Yeah, Daryl will start this week. Good job, Doug.
Elaborate on why he gets the call.
Sure. You know, I think, you know, as you go back and you evaluate it, just like I said that we would do, I thought Daryl came in the third quarter. I didn't think we had any momentum at that point, and I thought we needed a little bit of a boost to try to get this thing, you know, tilted back in our favor. And, you know, he struggled a little bit with the first couple series, and then I thought he, you know, kind of got his composure and played well down the stretch. Obviously, the last drive, there's a lot of pusses to take out of that for him. And and I thought he was pretty calm from a communication standpoint and the plays and the signals. Nice job. And so I thought he carried himself well with you know, little work. And so as far as, you know, being not a whole lot of reps is what I'm saying since training camp. So I'm excited about seeing what he's going to do this week.
So you'll go back to the 70-30 formula with those 2 guys?
Yeah, it'll be similar to that. Yeah, he'll take the reps with the ones this week.
Expand on Carrier and also you returning to New Mexico where you had a lot of fun.
Yeah, there was good memories and bad memories, I guess. We struggled my last year there, but the New Mexico Bowl and winning that bowl and getting the 9 wins, which is the most Coach Long ever had there, so that was cool. Coached 2 really good receivers. They were both first team all Mountain West. That's the first time at that point it had ever been done. I don't know if it's been done since, but I got a chance to coach those 2 guys, and that was neat. Both 1,000-yard receivers in the same year. So that was special. You know, we got friends there, and Wyatt was born there, and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, it'll be neat to go see some of that. But it's a business trip, and we're going there to compete and win a ball game and stay on track for some of our goals here. But yeah, it's different than going to a stadium we've never been to. So.
Well, you mentioned Carrier. I know Bolima. You knew. When
Yeah,
we talked
I
about Las
recruited
Vegas.
Dallas.
How many guys are still in the program? Do you think?
You know, a decent amount. You know, I recruited Dallas, Casey, Cole Getchy Cole was in our camp, so that was the last year that I was there. You know, Dante Carl was there, Javari Johnson, the outside linebacker, Ja'Cory Greer, the nose guard, starting nose guard. We recruited him out of Dallas. Newman Smith High School there in Carrollton. Keep thinking. Jarrett Magnet was a walk-on receiver for me at the time. I'm proud of him. He's playing, catching balls, and doing all that stuff. It's neat to see him running around. Crucial Gongbe was a highly recruited running back out of D.C. that we were recruiting last year there. Hadn't had him committed, so that was after I had left. So, you know, Daryl Johnson started for us. Dylan Farrell, the starting centers. It started a lot of ball games, probably just a little bit less than Tyler. But Dylan started as a redshirt freshman on the O-line for us, and he's been playing ever since. Daryl is the left tackle. So, yeah, Andrew Aho, the H-back tight end. Those are all guys that were there. So quite a few. Ben Scare, the punter, you know. So
Well, what makes Casey so special, you said?
I think he runs with balance. He's got strong lowers. His lower body's strong. He's shifty. He's got a good first step, and he runs with balance. And he's a really good receiver out of the backfield.
And Nevin Lawson this week, Mount West.
Yeah, really happy for Nevin. The way he's played, the confidence that he's playing with, the ability for him to play field, boundary, over the nickel, over the slot. You know, Nevin's really expanded his game, and he's played well, and he made plays with the ball in the air twice, and pick six was an awesome play, big time.
Hey, Jay just said there are things we have to fix in the back end. Could you elaborate more on
You know, basically the biggest thing is the zone coverage with underneath defenders, being the right drop depth and the right zones, mainly in zone coverage.
And the tackling. It sounded like you were picking up the game. Did you look at the
Yeah,
film?
we just
still
we
feel
missed,
the same? Or?
Yeah, we missed tackles, but we've been a good tackling team all year, so we'll tackle better.
One game deal.
With all the offensive starters out, any chance that there might be more of a streamlining in the offense, especially with Garrettson being a freshman?
The whole playbook's in this week.
Is there concern of running back in DiMartino's situation?
So I got concerns about every position. I mean, we're thin at every position. I mean, O-line, quarterback, running back. The only ones that are pretty healthy right now is all the wideouts. So, yeah, I got concerns. A lot of positions, really, to be honest with you.
Looking back at the tape, what did you see that Travis did to kind of break out in this game?
Travis Reynolds?
Yeah.
You know, the one catch was big time. The corner route on the sidelines, on the visitor sidelines there. He tiptoed in and made a great catch. He went up and caught a contested ball on a seam shot. The other one, you know, was wide open, so made a catch. And you know, sometimes those are the hardest ones, too, when you know you're wide, smoking open. But Travis has been a very consistent player from game one all year. Sometimes, just like I told you a few weeks ago when the question came up, he's targeted more. Sometimes the progressions take it to him quicker. Sometimes you can't plan for all that, but he's been very consistent. I'm proud of him. He made some catches Saturday night.
You know, he's, since week one, been making those big-time catches, like the sideline catch there. Every game he seems to have kind of one of those spectacular catches. Is that something you see him do in practice? Is that something he's been doing ever since he was here, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, he does, Matt. He made them in spring ball. He made them in training camp scrimmages against, you know, our DBs, against Nevin, and those. Nevin won't like me saying that, but I mean, he's done that, and I try to preach that all the time. The way you practice, the way you compete in training camp scrimmages is how it's going to show up on Saturday, and Travis Reynolds is a prime example of that.
much experience at tight end behind Keegan Anderson? How much does that change the dynamics of that position?
It just makes us be a lot more mindful of what we're doing with those tight ends.
What about their defense? What do you see just studying on your offensive side to New Mexico? I mean, they gave up some yards. I mentioned 65% passes. They've only had 4 interceptions. But what kind of defense have they got?
Well, they're a multiple odd front defense that I think they play really hard. The 2 D linemen, the 2-4 techniques play hard. You know, Ja'Cory's active as a nose guard. Javari is long and athletic. He plays the bench linebacker, boundary linebacker, and we don't play a lot of nickel. Play in the base personnel, and they fly around. They play hard. Dante comes up. He's run support. Really does a nice job from the secondary position.
In a technical studying what Daryl's, when he threw some interceptions on those plays, are they correctable? Or
Absolutely. Yeah. Chalk one up to being a freshman, and chalk the second one up to it happens in a game on the vertical shot. You know, we got to look back at receiver a little bit sooner. He's got to keep the ball a little bit more outside and upfield. The first one was will never happen again. Mark my word on that one. So it's just a young kid making a mistake on the first one. I can live with it. He won't do it again.
You felt pretty much he was under control.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thought he kept his composure though. You know, he acted good on the sidelines. You know, came off, and when you ask a young quarterback, what'd you see after you just saw it or saw something unfold from a pressure situation or a secondary situation, and he tells you, and it's exactly like you saw it, and you're like, the kid's dialed in. So gives you good confirmation that he is.
Is this in any way similar, because the circumstances are different? Chucky was started in the first.
Yeah, it's totally different. You're comparing it to Chucky and Adam?
Well, just having, the whole situation, but I mean him as a kid who can learn. And what did the coach McGivern said? He retains information really well, like Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
But then he hasn't had to start in the very first game.
No, it's been different. You know, we brought Chucky in June and tried to train him from the mindset and all through training camp that he was competing for the starting job, which he did. You know, he and Adam and the other quarterbacks that were here at that time. So it's a completely different situation. Totally different.
What response have you seen out of Craig and first, kind of getting replaced by Daryl, and now understanding that he's going to be a backup again, has to be ready?
Very positive. Yeah, very positive. Really good teammate. Understands the situation. Is ready to go in, if and when he has to be called upon.
I remember the other thing you guys said, though, was we need a quarterback this year to manage things. There was a battle going on between that job. Would you say that now?
Yeah. They can't not manage him, or we're going to struggle.
I guess what I'm saying is that's your expectation.
Absolutely.
There's not something way beyond that.
It seems like Boise State is able to get some pressure in the backfield. Are you asking for more from your linemen this week? That's fun.
That's the same amount of them. All they got every week. All they got every day. And those guys will play hard, and they'll protect the quarterback to the best of their abilities every single week.
So is it good to replace a running team with our rushing defense like it is? Or they have to test probably to this level running.
Well, we're going to play them. We're going to play them at some point in the season, and we're going to be the same run defense, and they're going to be the same run offense. So it's a great week to match it up.
When they fell behind 21-0 because of turnover problems last week.
When they what?
When they fell behind 21-0 New Mexico, did they stick to their game plan in their comeback?
Pretty much so, yeah.
Quarterback ran 50 yards and started to go off.
Yeah. Walked the punt, I think, got him back in it. Blocked the punt, got him back inside the 10, I believe. So they had a very, very short field for one of the touchdown drives that helped him get back in.
2 blocks in the last 2 games for you guys. Are you any concern about the special teams unit and how that game is working?
Yeah, we're trying to make changes and corrections all the time to that. Those 2 blocks were in 2 different spots on that field goal. So always corrections and improvements. So yeah, you got to be able to get a kickoff to give you points. You know, I can take it if he misses it, but you know, it's a struggle if they block it. We're going to do our very best up front. Got to get that fixed.
Anything else for Coach Wells? Okay.